Dr. Knag.
Dr. Bilo.
Now we come to detail number 5. Oh, that's an interesting one. Horizontal section through the standard column.
Yep.
Showing also the door.
Yes. I start my usual setup. So we have, say, this facade. Somehow there's glass, and the door somehow needs to be added here. Yeah. So how do I do that? I start with my standard. No, I start with door 1 to 2. Detail.
Horizontal, door facade, join.
D5.
Yeah.
And I start with the aluminium system, as I always start with the aluminium system. I'm showing that's aluminium by doing an additional line, as Dr. Bilo wanted it. I do the gaskets. There's another one, gaskets. I end up with a piece of glass, another piece of glass, gaskets, gaskets, fixing,
The cover cap.
cover cap. There's some insulation in here. As we learned, the screw finds its way into the screw channel, and this is the facade.
Yeah.
And now
The tricky part, a door. There's so many doors to choose from. But that's the moment we have a catalog.
we have a catalog. So, of course, we can draw this kind of things out of memory, but it's, of course, simpler, and that's what I did. I identified the details. I looked at the details. I take a system, which is now this system from this company. There are other systems as well. And we now have to somehow, it's a 1 to 2, luckily, get it into. And the best way to do so is, cheating by
Putting it underneath, yeah.
Putting it.
Usually in the office we always sketch with transparent paper, so it's easier to trace.
But here we do it this way. Here we do it this way. And I need to structure it this way by showing what's the system. There's an aluminium piece, there's some spacers for thermal break, there's an outer cover, there's an inner cover, and then the door itself, which is the main structure of the door with the spacers, then the outer layer of the door, and fixing the glass. And here it's a triple glass unit. So I'm not going to draw all the detail in all perfection.
Now, most important is that you have the outline of the element itself, and that you can identify which is, for instance, the frame of the door, the fixed part, and then also the door itself that swings open.
Yeah. And that's what we actually mainly need to do. So there's, say, this setup in here.
And while the doors actually they can be ordered in 2 different ways, either to be placed in just a hole, for instance, or being fixed into a facade system, then they also have a little notch on the side that fits into the system as also an insulating glass unit would do.
And now we have another one, which is this one, which then ends here. And then this one, which needs to find one and a second step as the outer setting with.
Yeah, this is already now the detail to accompany the insulating glass unit.
Exactly, then we click it in here.
It's here in this case from the inside the glass is installed.
And then I'm adding the 2 layers of glass, and then this is.
Which is already different. For facade,
Fixed
post and beam systems or stick systems, the glass comes from the outside, usually. While in this case, for the door, we install the glass from the inside. This is also anti-theft, that you can't just take the windows out or the glass inserting units out of the door and have an easy access at night.
So when I look at this,
I would, for instance, have a dotted line here to show that this is the door, and then it's very easy to understand that this is the door swinging inside.
this is the door. So what we see is mainframe, closer, fixing of the aluminium, fixing of the glass unit, and then this is brought into position into our stick system. So it's actually out of the system another piece, which then is an openable door as a setting. And now I'm going to try to draw this in an, say,
Isometric view.
isometric view, which is not the most simple one to do. Let's see. I start again with the aluminium piece.
Yeah, just make the contour of the door and the frame, I would say.
Cover cap. The insulated glass comes here. Down here we see that line, we see that line, ending up here. And then we, in general, have this layer, we have this layer, which is this dimension. Then we have this layer, which is coated with the insulated glass in here, and we have this layer. Zack. Glass as a system, and then again it opens in this direction.
Yep, perfect.
Detail number 5. Not a simple one. Main story is we take the standard and then we take samples out of a catalog and see how they fit into our geometry.
The biggest variations of these doors is in principle how deep they are. That also is defined a little bit by the insulation value and the view from the outside. There's also doors that work into each other to have a narrower line of sight. That is choice from the architect also. Sometimes you have freedom in order to choose. Sometimes building physics will dictate how the shape of the doors might be. Good, perfect.